Hello folks, this is Tom from anti-proton.com, and I did a Twitter poll, and I haven't put out a lot of videos recently, as everybody probably notices. I'll explain my reasonings in a moment, but everybody seemed to be interested in me making a video log. Perhaps we could call it something catchy like vlog? Wonder if somebody's coined that term already, but that's what we'll do. And so here I am. Now, a bunch of you said that you wanted me to do this, so here I am. And if you don't want to, you're like, what is this? I thought this was going to be like a science video with a Geiger counter. Well, I'm sorry. I'm working on those as fast as I can, but I'm really hampered by being lazy. Okay, so actually I have several videos in the pipes finally, but I'm going to start doing this at least once a week, no matter what. Oh my God, I've got to start doing it. So topics are going to be completely just random stuff. These are not scripted. They are whatever comes off the top of my head. So God only knows what I'll say. I may not even be able to, fact check and back up everything of what I'm saying, because I'm just, consider this all just completely anecdote, okay? I have like real, actual, normal Tom Science videos coming out pretty soon. The ones where I do like stuff. In fact, specifically, I have I have a Skywatcher Astro. I keep calling it Astro Adventurer because Astro is star. A Star Adventurer, which is a tracking mount, which lets your telescope follow the stars so you can take photographs and stuff. I have that in the pipes. I actually got that for free from the company, and I was kind of leery about that because I don't usually get free things and then do stuff with them because I'm not normally big on that. But they were like, hey, we got this, and you could review it. And I'm like, hey, if it sucks, I'm going to tell everybody. And they're like, and I'm like, So I just straight up told them. And sure enough, here's the part that's really sad. I also have another tracking mount that I bought. The one I got for free is better. So I bought one for nothing. Well, you only live once, right? And some of us live poor because they bought all the toys. So anyway, that happened. I think it's actually pretty good, to tell you the truth. I actually like it, so I'll show you that later on too. I have a couple other interesting ones I'm working on. I have a presentation I'll be doing on solar astronomy, so I'll be working on that too. This whole video thing I'm going to start doing once a week. Like I said, it's ad lib, so it's like whatever comes to my mind. I'm not going to get into the most hot topic things, so politics and religion are kind of like the two big ones, I will just say I am not particularly religious, and if you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly how far that goes. By the way, I don't get into the stuff on YouTube, but if you want to see how I am about stuff, get on Twitter, and I don't hold back there. I just straight up say it. I get into politics all the way, and everything, and you'll either like me or hate me immediately. So you can follow me on Twitter if you like. Other than that, I don't want to get into that on here. I mean, literally, honestly, does anybody want to get into politics right now? I mean, I don't even care anymore what side of it you're on. Does anybody really want to think about it at all? Any of it? Oh my God, I think we're just all done with politics. We're just done with it forever. Never do we want to see it ever again. Never. Never. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff. I've got a whole list of things here I want to go through. So I said it's not scripted. Here's my script because it's not scripted. Apparently I'm a complete liar. But I just wrote a couple notes down quickly so I wouldn't go completely off topic. I will be going over, well, let's start off with a few things and stop talking about what I will do and actually do something. So here we go. I would like to get around to doing this. Story of my life. I'd like to. Wouldn't it be great if? This right here is my nuclear missile model. I've shown this to you guys before. And so this right here is a set of very nice little model missiles. This is death and destruction. Nuclear missiles are horrifying, and most people don't actually understand what happens in a nuclear war, and that's why most people think nuclear war is like a cool thing. I have no idea if most people think that. I'm just making broad generalizations based on absolutely nothing. But the fact that we still have the things is at least an implication that might be true. Nuclear wars are horrible. Nuclear wars do not come in little plastic model kits like this. It's like snap tight too. I think you can just put it together and you think you can glue it. Oh my God, I bought such a cheap little model, but I like it. And see, look, decals. Everybody knows that decals are the way of everything. The only thing better than decals are dioramas. Now, if anybody knows me, and everyone knows me intimately, right, then you know I love dioramas. And if I go to a museum and I see dioramas, I stare at them forever. I love dioramas. The dioramas So anyway, there you go. See, tells you how to put the little missiles together. So anyway, this thing will be fun to put together. I'm hoping to do that and put that on actually on YouTube. There's like a bug flying around here. What the hell? Why is there always a bug? I swear, my house isn't dirty. Why is there always a bug? It's usually a fruit fly. I always have fruit flies because I eat like fruit like crazy. So there's always one. I think I just saw one go by. I went into this room because there would be no fruit flies. Because there's like 6 or 7 of them in the house going around that I've been trying to kill. And this room was supposed to be free of fruit flies. Well, anyway, let's move right along to some other interesting stuff. Oh, yeah, nuclear wars. I was going to get into that. If you ever have any questions, I can tell you about what actually happens in a nuclear war. But the simple truth of the fact in a nuclear war is that nobody lives, like everybody lives. I mean, realistically speaking, you barely lose maybe 1/10 of the population right off the bat. But then, like, 1/3 to a half the population die off as a result of medication and food. Just ask yourself right now, if right this moment you had to stop everything, whatever medication you have, because a lot of people are on medication. I'm not on medication, but lots of people are on, like, heart stuff, and think of all the psychological medications you could be on. Some of those you can't stop, or like bad things happen. Could you right now? How many of you right now could just be good for about 60 straight days without leaving your house? Right now, whatever food you have, 60 days. Whatever water you have, 60 days. If you can't say that you'd be good, then your chances of surviving a nuclear war are bad. Yeah, it's like that. So just keep that in mind. And the biggest threat to the world in nuclear war is not actually like us and the Soviet Union. So Russia and all of its little countries are around it and everything like that, or China. Let's go through the whole list. All the nuclear armed countries in the world: United States, Great Britain, France. A lot of NATO countries have nukes because of the NATO nuclear weapon sharing program, but I don't count that because they don't actually have the nukes. They shared them. Russia, China, India, Pakistan, apparently now North Korea. Isn't that lovely? And Japan and Israel are the two interesting ones. Japan, actually in South Africa. I'll explain before you tell me I'm wrong. South Africa, I'll start with them. South Africa had nuclear weapons, but they gave them up. They're like the only country to do that. So they don't have them now, but they did. They actually made nukes and then gave them up. So, good to them. So that's why I included them kind of as a special entry, even though they do not actually have them now. Israel is a weird one because, like, they don't have nuclear weapons, but then they do. Nobody knows how many they have. It is believed that they have, you hear estimates anywhere from 20 to 60, and theoretically none. So they're usually just considered to be on the list. Japan gets in a special entry because a lot of people rank the fact that they have the technical capability and resources to make one like that. I mean, like really fast. Probably a couple weeks. So the reality of the situation is they could throw one together pretty fast. So even though they don't have one, they're usually listed as being on the list because they could like will one into existence pretty quickly because they have epic resources and a whole bunch of reactors. So that's the whole list right there. So the likelihood of a nuclear exchange, a full out, blow the whole world up, the scenario is pretty low because of people doing it on purpose. But the likelihood of it being accidental is much higher. It's not technically high, but of all possible scenarios that could exist, it is one of the highest ones. And it's almost happened a whole bunch of times. If you go on the internet, you look up in Wikipedia, there's a whole list of all the times that are now declassified that tell about like how this has happened. God only knows how many more of them we'll never find out about, but the ones that they've told us about, and they're only telling us about the ones from like the 60s and the 50s, because it's been long enough that they're willing to tell us. God only knows. So anyway, that sucks. Anyway, oh yeah, don't think about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those things were like hand grenades compared to what they have nowadays. Although nuclear weapon yields have gone up, and then after a while they actually went back down again. They went up as we got them bigger and bigger and bigger. And we don't have very good we didn't have very good accuracy at the time, so we're like make them bigger, so we can make sure we can hit the target and take it out. But after we got to a point where we started to give nuclear weapons the accuracy of like 10, 20, 30 foot accuracy, which is almost like ludicrous for a nuclear weapon, they started dropping the yields down because you don't need to have this humongous massive nuke if you're going to fly right through the window of a house. All right, so here let's get into book series for a minute. I think I may have mentioned this book before, but I didn't have one to show, and now I do, and you guys are going to like it. Hopefully this isn't really, really loud. I have no idea why I'm doing that. I have Tourette's. I do things repetitively. It's part of having Tourette's. I actually have Tourette's. You have Tourette's? I have Tourette's. So the first book in the series here, this is from Greg Spry, and this right here is Beyond Cloud 9. He did not pay me to say this, and I paid for these stupid things myself on Amazon. Can show you a receipt, but I won't because I'd have to show you my private Amazon account. But yeah, so like I did not get these for free. This is not paid or anything like that. I did actually buy the book because I liked it. I haven't found a lot of books recently I've liked. I've read like 1 million books. I read lots of books. I write books, for God's sake. I am a novelist. But I love this book. So it's about this woman right here. I'm not going to go through the whole plot because like, I don't want to be one of those people. But it's about this woman right here. She goes on an interesting space-capade all over the place. She works for a kind of quasi-military organization in the future. She flies off into adventure and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but let's just say that I think that Greg Spry does a really good job of guessing the future. Keep in mind, nobody knows. But I think he does a good job. It's like, for example, I'll just give you one little bit without going into too much detail. You know, in Star Trek, like, or I'll give it better in Star Wars. You know, in Star Wars, how like a person loses a finger, but then they can't get the finger back again. They have to have it like, you know, they have to have like a robot arm put on or something like that. They can't, like, people can't seem to heal wounds. You're like, yo, but Tom, you're forgetting about the back to chambers, which first appeared in blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I got it. They have back to chambers, which allow you to regenerate. Yes, I remember, you know, they put Luke Skywalker on when he's floating around, blah, blah, blah. But look at Darth Vader for a moment. You can't heal, like, major injuries. Oh, God, I'm going to get so flamed over this by all the fans. There is a level by which you cannot heal. Look at all the dude with the face that's torn up. Remember in a Nice Little Republic. Remember Darth Vader. Remember everybody always gets their hand chopped off every 5 minutes. Those don't grow back, right? And at the present rate that we're going, it's looking like in another 10, 20 years we'll be able to do that now. So they're not terribly good on the latest of technology. So you think to yourself, why can't you just fix stuff like that? Or in Star Trek. Let me not excuse them from anything. How come Geordi's eyes can't be regenerated? We're like getting to that point now. So this guy right here, he has that taken care of. These people all have like little nanites in them. They repair everything. So like if this girl, if you were to come up to her right now, and well, you wouldn't want to do this to somebody. It's kind of mean. But if you were like poke her or something, she's got like a little hole in her blood. It would like heal up because of nanites. Duh. I mean, that's obviously, that's at least a more reasonable, rational look at what things could be like. Now, maybe that's not how that will happen, but it's a really good look at how it could be. I loved this book. I loved it to death. I loved the fourth dimension that's involved in this book. I loved all the space combat's good, too. This is like Honor Harrington, kind of. It's not Honor Harrington, but it's got an Honor Harrington sort of feel. Like, if you liked Honor Harrington series, which I adore, I love that series, then you could step into this series and you would like it. That's all I can say without going into any more, because I don't want to give it away. Awesome series all the way around. There's the back cover. There she is with a girl who I'm not going to mention because, like, problem is I don't want to give anything away. I mean, I said the nanite thing, but that's not, like, important to the story. That's like saying, well, in Star Wars they have blasters. Well, that doesn't give away anything about the story. This is weird. I have this goofy beard, and because of the way the fur goes, it makes it look like my nostrils are, like, twice as long as they really are, but it's just the fur. I'm thinking about shaving my beard off. What do you think? No, but really, though, if I shave my beard off, how bad is it? Yeah. Okay. So, book number 2. Same book, but number 2. This is the second of the series. This is Beyond Horizon. I liked this book, I think, maybe even more than the first book, right? So this book right here and this book right here are a series. Oops, let me get that. There we go. And this one's first, this one's second. And he has a third and a fourth on the way, and I've like harassed him 1,000,000 times. I'm like, hey, Greg, when's your book going to be done? I'm working on my book too. We're like fellow authors. Hey, cough, cough. Want to give me some inside information as to when your book's going to be done? Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere with that. So, hey, Greg, if you watch this, I'll be happy to review your book for you when you send it out. Just send me a copy. I'll send you one of mine. But yeah, basically put, this is a really fun book. It takes place, don't give away any spoilers. You hear nothing. It is a good book. It is a really good book. I really love the way this is done. The plot and suspense is a lot thicker than you think it would be, too. It starts out kind of like, oh, this is going to be pretty linear. Then you're like, whoa, that's suddenly not linear whatsoever. And he gets the physics and stuff right pretty well, too. I had a few minor disagreements on a few things, but, like, I think he gets the physics right. So, for example, spaceships don't have to, like, bank like airplanes. They can just spin around and stuff. Things that you actually could do, because, you know, in spaceships, like the sci-fi stuff, in spaceship shows and sci-fi shows, they curve and bank. And yes, that looks cool, and it's the way our minds want that to look, but it's not accurate at all. It's not even close to accurate. You could make a spaceship do that, but you're just burning fuel for, like, no reason. Now, yeah, I could entertain the idea that there's some way that the spaceship flies, like it's like folding space or something in such a way that maybe banking and turning is somehow better for, you know, its momentum is better conserved or something. I could agree with you that something like that might exist. But I don't believe that that is probably going to be the case for most sci-fi shows. Babylon 5 is still the best. Ooh, so I just said it. All right, we're getting there. I would like to point out, if you go onto my Twitter account and if you see me talking about it, I have somebody that's very close to me that I know is transgender. You're like, what the? That is completely out of left field. Did you just say that? Yes, I did. So the reason I point this out is because, like, if that's a problem with you, you probably shouldn't hang around me, because I mentioned this a lot. I am 100% pro LGBTQ+. That means everybody. And basically put, I am super duper pro that, because I'm kind of like a little bit liberal. Sorry, go off there for a second. And I tend to support these kinds of issues. So you'll hear me ranting about that kind of stuff on YouTube sometimes. You might hear me ranting, not YouTube, Twitter. You might hear me ranting upon it here occasionally too. So if that offends you, sorry. I'm sorry that the science and of humanity and everything bother you, etc. So nothing I can do about that, huh? But there you go. Now that brings me into my last topic I was going to discuss, empathy. I've been noticing a problem with our species recently, and that's a reduction of empathy. That's what I think it is. Have you ever noticed that people get on the internet and they're so damn mean to each other? They're like, for the lol, yeah, bra. For the record, when you say yeah, bra, a bra is short for brassiere. It's what you put on. So when I hear somebody say yeah, bra, that's all I can think of. I'm sorry, I know you're trying to be cool and stuff, but, like, it sounds like you're saying bra, like a brassiere. You're like, yeah, brassiere. So basically people are so mean to one another nowadays. Like, they're really, really mean. They'll be like, yeah, bro. And they'll be like, you just need to, like, not take everything so seriously. Hate. The things that you believe in are terrible. Everything about you is horrible. You know what I mean? You look at the comment section. My God, don't look at the comment section on YouTube. Like, I have one video that's on here. I can't even look at the comment section. It's just hate to the infinite level. And so I sat down to thinking, why is this the case? Why is everybody doing this? Why is everybody so full of hate? Is like our world becoming a meaner place? Well, in a way, maybe a little bit, and there are some political things we won't get into, but it occurred to me empathy could be a problem. But how could empathy be going away? I mean, like, empathy is part of, we're a social species. We evolved with empathy. Yes, evolution's real. Sorry if you don't believe me. All the science is on my side. You're wrong if you don't believe me. So the problem is that we don't have empathy to one another anymore, right? So where did the empathy go? Well, this is my complete off the damn top of my head conjecture and supposition. So before any of you get on there and you're like, what are your facts to back that up, meow? Do you have any facts to back that up, meow? No, I don't have any facts to back that up, meow. I'm saying that, like, this is what I believe based on just anecdote and thinking it through and everything. This is like my not science video, okay? I have science ones where I back it up with actual data, right? Okay, this is just me rambling. But think about it like this just let me go with this little posit here for a second. So there are people who have real empathy, right? You know, the person that's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. How are you? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You know those people, right? Then you got the clowns on it that laugh at everybody. But if you go to these people in real life and you like bump into like if I took 10 trolls on the internet and went and talked to them in real life, 8 out of those 10 would probably be like okay people, more or less. You know what I mean? If I came up to them, I'm like, dude, my dog got eaten by a shark. And they'd be like, oh, man, that's terrible, dude. Sorry to hear that, brawl. All right, so basically, we know that a few percentage of the population are not going to have very much empathy. There's actually psychological problems that involve not having enough empathy, and that's a small percentage of the population. We know a larger percentage of the population has a large amount of empathy. Those are the, oh my God, I'm so sorry, those guys. But what about these middle, the large chunk in the middle, that when you see them in person have empathy, when you don't see them and they're on the internet, they're just like attacking, what's going on there? So something that occurred to me is that there's kind of maybe possibly a artificial empathy that's maybe a social construct that is the result of the interdependencies of people, as a result of the fact that our species is social and forms little communes, little groups. So basically put, as we evolved over time, humans live together in little groups. I mean, you can look at look at our ancestors today. That makes sense. Look at our closest relatives today. Look at various other forms of apes. And you'll see that they all hook together in little social groups, and they do kind of a lot of the same kind of stuff we do, actually, especially bonobos. Oh my God! So watch what they do. And there are sometimes they're interdependent on one another to some degree. Now, we are more independent on one another because we have specialization of labor. We've had it for a long time to some degree. I mean, yeah, fine, you get in the Mesolithic and Neolithic before you really start getting into specialization of labor. But even for a really long time, we've had groups of people that are interdependent upon one another for one reason or another, right? So you got the male who's like, interdependent upon the female with the babies because without her, his offspring don't exist. She might be interdependent on him because she's carrying all these offspring around. Yeah, I'm aware that was a nice, very heavily gendered explanation, but I'm looking at our ancient ancestors here, bear with me. So when you have the village, let's look at a more modern example. You have the village. Well, Bob over here, Bob makes tools for the farm, and if I go piss off Bob, he won't give me a hoe, and if I don't have a hoe, I can't make food, and I friggin' starve to death, right? So when Bob comes over and he's like, I've been feeling kind of bad recently, I'm all like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Bob. Hopefully you get better so you can make me some tools. I mean, I hope you get better, Bob. So I'm using a kind of a reducto absurdum there, but my guess is that there's some kind of social long day at work, my brain is cut off. Social interdependency, there we go, that is causing people to have this kind of sort of pseudo-empathy with one another that is mixed and sprinkled with a little bit of real empathy. The problem, however, I see, that's assuming that all my random, completely unsupported suppositions are somehow magically correct. The problem I see by this is that once you get on the internet, and I'm like talking to you on the internet, I don't know you. I don't know that you work at the plant that makes my lunch. I don't know that you are that your wife is going to be my doctor next week who holds my heart in her very hand and decides whether to squeeze it and kill me or give it a wiggle and it starts back up. I don't know these things. And so as a result of this, everybody is just a faceless thing. Think about it. I'm kind of a faceless thing. I mean, a little bit more because you see me. But look at the comment section. Just go to right now look at the... Actually, you probably shouldn't. It's depressing to look at the comment section. But all those people that say, yeah, bro, but those guys, you don't know who they are. They're like not real people to you. And they're real people. They don't think that you're real people to some degree. I mean, I'm kind of ascribing people's personal interactions with one another. Nobody knows that even true. But the point of the matter is, all of these various people don't really see one another as being as real as if they saw one another, like prima facie, right, to the face and everything. So there's kind of an abstraction that occurs. So if it is actually true that empathy is a mixture of actual empathy as opposed to, as well as a social construct of an artificial empathetic like analog, then it would follow that if you can't see people very well, I don't mean see them, but if you can't interact with people on a more personal level such that they're abstract from you, then the social construct part would be diminished, resulting in an apparent lessening of empathy. At that case, you then become your own little group, and you make fun of other people to strengthen your own group in the same way that your little commune back in the old days attacked other people. I mean, it's kind of like that, if that makes any sort of sense. So I wonder if that's actually an interesting possibility. I wonder if the fact that, the death of the family, as they call it, people don't hang around one another anymore. Like me, I'm a misanthrope. I never go around anybody. Look, I like hide underground on my little underground lair. And like hide my food and store it underground. I mean, so basically put, maybe that's an explanation for what's going on. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm talking out of my butt. But who knows? So I thought you might find that very interesting. So you can follow me on Twitter if you want to talk about stuff and learn that I'm really a weird person. You're like, no, Tom, you don't seem weird at all. And I have other videos coming soon that are not this. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. I don't even want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. So anyway, that was a talk to the hand kind of experience. So you see, this is the hand, and you would talk to it, and that's how that would work, because the number of I give is that. So there you go. I will be making more videos for you, my YouTube audience, whom I like. I really do like you, and I don't know why I like you, and I don't know why you like me, because I'm really weird. But anyhow, support science, support diversity, support all that kind of stuff. Maybe. This has been Tom from anti-proton.com, and bye. Alright, the liquor hall section. Let's see here. What will we get? That looks like it'll be good. I'd much prefer some liquor snacks, but unfortunately they're not legal to buy in grocery stores where I live. That's good. That's good. By the way, these are relative statements. Some of this is not good, and some of the stuff will give you a really bad headache too, let me tell you. I used to buy this brand right here, but, well, I now do not for political reasons. So, there you go. Let's grab one of these, and hopefully this will be good for tonight, right?